Give me the money. But I don't want to make a bad reputation either. If somebody, this is a buyer that has bought 10 houses from me, I'm gonna give him his money back and I'm gonna eat the $200. It depends on the situation. So you want to kind of play it by ear. But I mean, if you got somebody, some people, it's a lot of pretenders out here. And people just this, and then I get this buyer, and they buy for And like I said, this is how we make our living. So I don't really have time. So to stop that. You put $1,000 up, you're gonna hustle harder than ever to try to make this happen. And that's the whole purpose of it.
And believe me, when you get into this business and you do it full time, your name is everything. So I really follow a lot of ethics in trying to be a person of my word, because you don't want to lose a buyer. You don't want to lose a seller too. So really, it's just open, honest communication with everybody that's involved. Contracts, what you need to know. If you're buying or getting a contract, try not to put up earnest money. I'll put $1 up, and 9 times out of 10, I just tied 3 houses up last week. I put $1 up. One won in $10, so I gave him $10. But I try not to put earnest money up, because believe me, I've had a lot of deals that were MLS houses, and I lost $1,000 or I lost $500 because I couldn't get an extension. Because it's weird. Some houses are so easy to sell, and some are just really hard to sell those. And just use a basic contract, just a 1 page. Actually, the one I used, I got it off the internet, and I just kind of changed it into Be Royce Investments LLC. And the more basic, the simpler it is, the easier it's going to be. Because some sellers don't want to, they see a 7-page contract, they kind of get confused, and they don't want to sign nothing like that. And try to give yourself as much time as you can get. 45, 60 days, 90 days if you can get it. Because the more time you have to sell it, the better your chances are of selling the property. Now, if it's a great deal and you can sell it in a couple of days, I've actually signed a contract where I said I'd close in 10 days. And I did, but I kind of already had a buyer lined up before I actually got the property. And then, when selling, give your buyer 7 to 10 days to close. The cash buyers that me and Paul deal with, we want them to close and close quickly. Like I said, we're going to show an example on at the end of a deal we're working on together, and his buyer's ready to go, but the title company's dragging their feet. So, and as soon as I tied it up, 3 days later, he's got a buyer for it. So, just give yourself more time, but give your buyer less time. Yes.
So the title company can do it in that short period?
Yeah. The title search takes about, typically about 3 business days. Okay. My lawyer just told me it's going to take 7 to 10 days business. I've never heard that, but yeah, usually you can do it in 3 days.
Sure.
I have a question about that. One is with the closing. If you give yourself 30 to 60 days or whatever, and you're ready to close earlier, will they let you?
Yeah. They get the check quicker.
Yeah, your sellers want the money.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
And the other question was, where online you said you found yours online?
You wouldn't believe just the internet search real estate contracts or Ohio State real estate contracts.
Yeah. There's a website that's got a little bit of all type of forms. It's called TotalRealEstateSolutions.com.
I like that.
If you go to that website, it's got a bunch of stuff on it. It's got rental lease agreements, land contracts, promissory notes, all type of forms. And it's absolutely free, and they're prepared by an attorney. So. Find a good title company, a real estate attorney. That's key. You want to tell the title company what you're doing exactly. A lot of times you have to take both contracts, the contract you got to lock the property up and the contract you got for the buyer, and then sometimes you have to get an assignment of the contract. What happened was they changed the laws to where people, you didn't used to have to bring the money to closing. You would actually close the deal with somebody else's money, and then you would just get a check without the assignment. But now, if you get the assignment, that's letting your buyer know that, hey, I'm making $3,000 here, I'm making $5,000 on this deal. So now you have to kind of disclose what you're making on the deal. But I'm going to tell you one thing too. If you got a deal where it's sweet, you might make $12,000, you may want to close on it. Because sometimes a buyer doesn't want to see you make $12,000 that easily. So you may have to close on it, and then they're going to see you get the whole check, and they won't know the difference. And it's unfortunate, but trust me, you making $7? You making $8? And they loved the price before they knew you was making $8,000. It was a steal of the century, but I could have got it, you know. But it takes a lot of time and effort of what we do to find the deals, to negotiate the deals and all that stuff, so that, you know, well, people don't want to compensate you for that. So you have to be careful. Usually 3 to 5 is not that big of a deal, but sometimes if you got a sweet one, it's $10,000. You may want to, you know, there's a lot of investors out here that say, hey, look, I need $25,000 for this deal. I give you $1,000. Just let me have the money for 1 hour. Trust me, you can get a line outside of people who will give you $25,000 for 1 hour, and you still make 9 back. So now you don't get 10, you make 9. You know.
Because you will have to have money to close.
Yeah.
You used to be able to do what's called a double. You could do one closing. I could use Paul's money to buy my house to turn around and sell it when he's my buyer. But now you actually have to have 2 separate closings involved. So you have to get what's called a transactional lender. Another good person that I use is cashforshortsales.com. Jody Funk. She's done a lot of my deals, and you know, typically it's going to run you about 1.5% of whatever your sale price is. But you know, you're going to have the money unless you know you have it sitting around.
What was that again?
Cashforshortsales.com.
What was that term you used? Transactional what?
Transactional lender.
Transactional funding. It's just somebody who's going to give you the money just to get the deal done. Usually you just give them money for an hour or 2 just to get from the first closing to the second closing. And then they'll show up as the bank for you. So you just say, if you loan me the money, whatever your name is, you'll show up as the bank. And the title company will cut you a check for what you gave me on top of what we agreed for me to pay you. And then I'll get the balance. So, and that's how they protect. They're protected by the, you let them know they're protected by the real estate. So hey, you gave me the money, but you taking ownership of the property too. So you know.